Welcome back to Fox 40 News at 11. I'm Sincere Tonsel. The world has been confronted with disturbing scenes of desperate Afghans clinging to military transport wheels, trying to get out of a country that fell into Taliban control just 10 days after U.S. military withdrawal. California Congressman Tom McClintock has been very critical of the moves made by the Biden administration in all of this, tweeting that this situation has, quote, got to set new records in the annals of incompetence, unquote. He joins me now live. Congressman, welcome back to Fox 40 News at 11.
Thanks for having me.
First, Congressman, America's effort in Afghanistan has been going on for 20 years. 20 years. Have we just been duped for that long about the willingness of the government to stand up to the Taliban, the military to act on the training that we've provided? What happened here that no stand was mounted at all?
Well, that's the point. It's the way this withdrawal has been managed from January 20th. I don't understand why we tolerated the Taliban continuously breaking their agreements with the Trump administration over maintaining a ceasefire and concluding a peace accord with the Afghan government prior to withdrawing our troops. Why is it that we failed to remove all of our equipment and personnel before withdrawing the military? Why did we cease to provide the Afghan army with air support, without which we knew they couldn't succeed? Why we abandoned Bagram Air Force Base at all? We should be holding that as we hold Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. This has been bungled since the day this guy took office, and the damage that's being done is going to be following us in our country for many, many years to come. I think the next thing we're going to be seeing is an American hostage crisis, as American citizens over there are left trapped. And mass executions of our Afghan allies. We're already hearing of those stories unfolding already.
That is a very serious fear to have. Have you gotten any redress to your questions, the ones you just listed, from the administration so far?
No, nothing.
Okay.
In fact, we've had several briefings in which they've cut off questions before most of the members had a chance to get any kind of guidance. Just what can we tell our constituents who have loved ones over there who are trying to get them out.
And mentioning your constituents, you have about 70 people that you're working with that have loved ones there that you're having some success with in terms of getting them out?
Well, a little. We're working on 70 cases right now. One man, a U.S. citizen, had tickets to get out last week. He was able to get himself and his family to the airport, but only after evading the Taliban, who were beating and shooting people nearby. We have a woman who's married to a U.S. citizen. She has a special immigrant visa. She was beaten and threatened with execution trying to get to the airport. She went missing for hours. She's still trying to get out. A Rockland constituent's wife is stuck in the city of Herat. That's about 500 miles from Kabul. The embassy told her, no problem, just come to the airport in Kabul. That's 500 miles away. She had 3 friends who tried. She says they were beheaded en route, and she's now in hiding. Another constituent, family member, has a special visa, but reports his father with heart disease was accosted by the Taliban because his beard was too short. They shot his sister, they beat his father, and they targeted his family because he helped the United States. So those are just stories of people in this one congressional district out of 435 in the country. As I said, the dimensions of this disaster are incalculable.
Just unbelievable accounts there. Now, Monday, the message of the Biden administration was this evacuation effort was going to go on as long as it was needed. Then yesterday, the Taliban said, this all has to be wrapped up by the 31st. And then the Biden administration started saying we'll be out by the 31st, in contrast to what the G7 allies were asking for. How dangerous do you think it is for America on the world stage to perhaps look like we're following the orders of the Taliban?
Well, we are following the orders of the Taliban. I got the distinct impression from this administration they don't want any confrontations with the Taliban because they're afraid of an escalation, which means the Taliban are running the show. And the truly dangerous question is how many other hostile governments around the world, China, Russia, Iran, are looking at all of this and sensing a wide open window to seize their own opportunities. I mean, if anybody thinks the world is going to become more stable after this, well, they're delusional. In fact, the only person I know who seems to think that is the President of the United States.
A huge problem that needs to be solved there. Another one here in the state when it comes to the wildfire situation here. We spoke a few weeks ago about you demanding answers from the Forest Service about the Tamarack fire being allowed to burn at the start and not being immediately extinguished. Now we have the untamed Dixie fire and the Caldor fire racing on. Why are you headed to the fire zone tomorrow?
To see the progress, they are making significant progress on Caldor. First of all, Caldor now has top priority overall resources. So what they need, they're now getting. I'm particularly concerned about the northeast front of the fire, which threatens the Tahoe Basin. The good news there is they seem to be getting on top of that. But I go to every one of the command centers, so when we have a fire, I learn more there than I can in hours and hours of hearings in Washington.
All righty, and what in the budget bill just passed in the House might help with the firefight, and do you think the country's hitting the right notes with this spending plan?
No, in fact, the spending plan has very, very little to do with infrastructure. You know, if you think going to roads and bridges, about 2.5% of it is at a cost of $3.5 trillion. You have to understand what that means. That's an average of $28,000 for every family in America. And we need to know where it comes from. It comes from every family in America through taxes, tax-driven price increases, future taxes to pay back borrowing, inflation caused by printing money that hauls out people's savings accounts and their retirement funds. It's not a theoretical number. You're going to be paying that back. And what are you getting for it? It provides billions of dollars to finance amnesty for illegal aliens. It ends right-to-work protections for American workers. It provides massive taxpayer subsidies to green energy companies. And here's one that really stuns me. It literally doubles the size of the IRS. We'll be hiring 87,000 new IRS agents to descend on American families and shopkeepers. 87,000 new IRS agents. That's the entire population of Ogden, Utah, or Miami Beach, Florida. That's what's in the bill. And meanwhile, by the way, military spending as a percentage of GDP falls to its lowest level in 80 years. And they provide no additional funds for Homeland Security to confront the crisis on our southern border or the crisis of Afghanistan refugees. That's how misplaced their priorities are.
Congressman, all very, very important issues, both abroad and in California, that we will check back in with you about, but we've got to put a pin in it there for now. Thank you so much for your insight this morning.
Thanks for having me.
And now